Wonderful day, everyone. Hi, Garrett Lambert here, founder of Breakthrough2U.com and various other transformational and coaching and training websites. And I want to welcome you to this complimentary 4-part breakthrough video training series. Now, these videos are a preview to my new Breakthrough to You, Living a Life of Infinite Possibilities, an owner's manual for your brain. How's it get better than that? In this 4-video series, I'm going to introduce you to what I have coined as the 3 pillars of transformation. Now, why is that important to you? Well, because they're the 3 main areas of focus that you must integrate in your life in order to create, experience, and sustain financial wealth, business and career success, radiant health, deeper love, greater passion, joy, and fulfillment in your life. You know, it's been my experience in coaching and training tens of thousands of people worldwide over the last 25 plus years that the integration of these 3 pillars are the difference that will make the difference in your life. And they're comprised of 16 breakthrough steps. I've taken over 5 years to create this system. It's my new energy transformation system. And we're going to touch on some of these throughout the series. Now, I want to begin by asking you a question. And I'll be ruthlessly honest with yourself. Are there places in your life where you continue to feel like you're stuck? Or maybe you just know you could be and do and have more, and nothing seems to move the needle for any length of time in your life. I mean, did you perhaps make a New Year's resolution, right? You set some goals, or at least have the intention to change your life, your habits, and your behaviors for this year, and you haven't consistently followed through. In fact, most of you do just the opposite, no matter how hard you try to stop. And you know, it doesn't matter what time of the year you're watching this video, by the way. It is a great time to really go inside and evaluate what do you want in your life and where are you? Where's the gap from where you are to where you want to be? And here's the deal, my friends. Unless you embrace the real source of these problems and these so-called challenges, nothing, and I mean nothing, will fundamentally change in your life. Now, why is that, you might ask? Because you don't get what you want, you get what you consciously and unconsciously expect. And your expectations, they're the result of your unconscious conditioning, judgments you have about yourself and what you think is possible for to achieve in your life. Now, what are your expectations for this year and for beyond? And let me ask you even a bigger question. What are your conscious dreams? What are your big dreams? What are the huge dreams that you want to bring to life? Maybe you've never even really talked about to many people. And dreams can appear so implausible, can't they? I mean, maybe even impossible. However, how dreams appear and what they are completely different things. And one of my deepest desires, my commitment to you, is to remind you, to guide you, how to wake up, not from your dreams, but to them. You know, Deepak Chopra once said that everything in the entire universe has a single source. And your innermost being, your intuition, your inner knowingness, your inner awareness is that source. When your awareness is unblocked and free, God is not difficult to find. In fact, he, she is impossible to avoid. It's within all of us. Now, let me ask you another question, or let me actually answer a question I'm sure that a lot of you might have that don't know my work or don't know me. I mean, what gives me the right? What gives me the right, the authority to actually share anything with you? Now, because I'm going to share a lot of great information, some transformational processes with you I've learned over 25 plus years in coaching and training. How did I get here today to have the great fortune to be with you? It's been a long journey, I can tell you. Now, some of you may know my story, some of you may know just part of my story, and maybe some of you don't know any of it. Well, like so many individuals, I struggled for so many years to make my life work. I mean, I tried to solve all these so-called problems. If I could just solve this financial problem, right, then my life would work, right? If I could just solve this relationship issue, then my life would work. If I could just solve this business and career issue, then my life would work. I mean, how many can relate to that, right? And in hindsight, which we all know is 2020, it is obvious. I just kept repeating and repeating the same patterns over and over again. It's like so many of you. You may have lived 70, 80, 90 plus years, but most of you are just living the same year over and over again. I found myself doing the same thing. I kept repeating the same year over and over again. Now, I may have had a new job, but it was really the same boss, just wearing different clothes. I may have even had a new relationship, but really the same conversations, the same disagreements. I maybe even moved to a new area, but really it was the same neighborhood. Just had different characters, different sets, different costumes. However, it was the same fundamental story. Now, does this sound familiar to maybe any of you out there? Hello. And I guarantee you, if I were alive in a room and we were all together and I asked that question, I'd see a lot of hands going up. You know, I finally had this moment in my life. I really broke down, and actually it was really a breakthrough, because I finally broke through to understanding that, we've all had one of those aha moments. All of us have had at some point in our life. I could finally see that what I was doing in the moment that I thought seemed to be proactive, a positive action, was really just a reaction to an unconscious pattern. I was unconsciously reacting unconsciously reacting to my past hurts, my past failures, my past pains, and I was using all these coping mechanisms that I thought would, prevent that from happening. I was really being stuck. I was really locked into a box. And there's this new research that says that 96 to 98% of what you think and say and do on a moment-to-moment basis is driven by this unconscious programming. So most of us are walking around completely unconscious. And that was me. I was shrinking my box while I was primarily living from a place of survival, from problem solving. And what I discovered was that whenever you try to solve a problem, you get stuck at the level of the problem. Now, I love using this analogy because I think it speaks really to the point. And it's like trying to solve this problem of ice, right? No matter what you try to do to solve the problem of ice, you can pour hot water on it till, your days, as long as you live. But if you're living at 32 degrees, it's going to freeze up again. And you're going to what? Be left with the same exact problem with ice, right? So I had to move from being a problem solver, right, to a vision holder. Now, what do I mean by vision holder? I needed to be more focused on the vision. In order to do that, I had to get really honest with what was really driving me. Now, I don't have time to go with these videos into great depth about this, but let me share this with you. It's critically important for you to be extraordinarily clear that your past experiences are really driving you in the present, and they're affecting your future. They dramatically affect your future. And most of these patterns are unconscious to you. And they're fear-based, which we're going to talk about in the next video. Now, here's the cool thing. When I began to catch that, when I began to understand these patterns that were driving me, I went from being broke, living in a 150 square foot bachelor apartment in Venice Beach, California, washing my dishes in the bathtub, to owning 7 different homes. I became a multi-millionaire, at least on paper. And I went from being afraid of commitment to having the most fulfilling and the most wonderful relationship I could ever even imagine. I have my own coaching and training practice now, and I've trained literally tens of thousands of people around the world to earn much more money, and not only to earn it, but to keep it and to multiply it. I've shared with people how to create much more radiant health, losing many, many pounds of unwanted and unhealthy weight, and to get in the best shape of their lives, vastly increasing their business and their career success in many ways, and many of them never even thought was even possible to even do. I've watched so many people who struggle to achieve something in the present using the patterns from the past. Now, how many have done that before? Hello. And when you finally get this, and when they got it, they had a breakthrough and started living a life they could never even have imagined before. So we're going to dive into that in the next video, talking about how fear is driving your life unconsciously, and driving you unconscious. Be sure to be on the lookout for the next video. We're going to talk about the newest research in neuroscience regarding how fear is having this dramatically negative effect on your life. And it's happening, as I said, mostly unconscious to you. So we're going to talk about also how to use evidence-based, scientific proven ways to begin to drive blood away from the anxiety center of your brain, which is called the amygdala, to the fear-based, which is the fear-based center of your brain, and move it towards the thinking center. Hello, the thinking center, also known as your left prefrontal cortex. You like that little show and tell? And that's probably more technical information you want to know. But as you do that, you begin to make more empowering and powerful choices for your life. That's why that's important to know. So be sure to watch out for the next video, which we're going to release shortly. And I want to thank you so much for taking part of your valuable time to watch this video. I deeply appreciate it. And until we're together again, I send you and your family much love and richest blessings. And remember to live fearlessly, love unconditionally, and make a difference in the world. Make your life matter. I'm Garrett Lambert. I'll see you in the next video.